Welcome back everyone to the final episode of the ZX14R rebuild series. I know it's been a while since the last episode, but we are finally here guys, so let's just jump right into it. In the last episode we started assembling the fairings and installed some new LED lighting. In this episode we're going to try and finish everything else on the bike so we can get ready to embark on the first ride. So let's get started. Actually, before we get started, I do want to point out that a little bit of work was done off camera. Most notably the fairings. The install took a lot longer than anticipated and I decided to finish them off camera to save some time. I hope you guys understand. Anyway, we need to remove those wheels so we can replace those old tires. Alright, so here we go. We got the back end up. We're going to put up the front end. And in order to do that, I have to remove this front hugger because I only have these, the lifters right here from the axle. I don't have the right pin for this bike, so I have to use these. But gonna get the fender off first because the fender won't let the wheel clear with the thing on, so I'm gonna do that. But once I do that, we can take off the brakes and then we can take off the back and we're good to go. And then we can hopefully put these new tires on. By the way, I'm in the middle of working on that. That's been a fun project. But I got these new tires right here. I decided to go with the Dunlop Road Sport 2 tires. From what I've read, these actually have a pretty good ratings. I mean, they are pretty cheap tire. I got the set for 200 bucks, so I'm just gonna give it a shot. Yeah, cheap tires on a 200 horsepower motorcycle. That sounds fun. No, but in all honesty, guys, these tires are pretty good, despite their price, and I'm very excited to try them out. They may just wear a bit faster than a more expensive tire, but I'm alright with that. Anyway, first we need to go ahead and remove these brake calipers so we can get the wheel off. Okay, so I finally took off that front wheel. What a pain in the butt to get that off. I had to find a special tool in order to get the axle off, and I didn't record it because honestly I'm kind of in a time crunch right now, and I don't have my tripod. My tripod's broken, so I'm just going to remove the rear wheel and get these mounted and balanced, and then I will be back. Here, I wanted to show you guys real quick. I got this Pitbull tire wedge. I've never used it before, but I'm gonna try it out now. It was kind of expensive, a little bit of an impulse buy, but I got it a while ago and this is my first time using it. So what it does is it kind of puts some pressure on that wheel so it doesn't come slamming down. Usually you'd have to like stack some books or anything like that, but this knob is adjustable. So hopefully it works out good because it definitely is something that's needed, in my opinion. Makes the job a lot easier. I mean, it's good if you own multiple bikes like me. Okay, so here we have the brake caliper, and as you can see, this piston, it is very rusty. In fact, hopefully I can clean it up, but look at these pads, they're totally done. Luckily, I do have a set of brand new brake pads over there, but these pads, I'm actually a little worried that these pistons, they're going to be cleaned badly. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these pads, well, what's left of them, and then I'm going to try to clean these pistons as much as I can, and then try to push them in and out and work them out a little bit. So let's see how that goes. All right, I just used an impact and that took it out right away. So go ahead and remove the rest of the way. Wow, look at that pin. This is probably the culprit, or at least part of the issue. So with that out, we can take this backing plate out, went in just like that, and now we can move these pads. It looks like they go out the front. I'm gonna take another look at these pads and look at that. Yeah, these are pretty bad. It probably would make sense to get a new rotor, but the other rotor is not actually scored that bad. I've run my finger through it, it's not. It seems pretty normal wear, surprisingly. Like I said, it probably would make sense to replace it, but for now I'm just gonna do the pads. The pads are cheap enough, I can always do them again if I need to. But here it is in all its glory. We got a little bit of caked on crap all over this. So I'm gonna have to, luckily I can clean it from every side pretty easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some brake cleaner and a brush and try to get all that out. I would like to give one final shout out to my gold level patrons: Trace Young, Bruce Squid, Mark Sudlow, Marcus Smallwood, Jurgen, Josh Rains, Josh Moore, Gordon Black, Charles Raymond Young, Burkhard Rediker, Angelus, Amateur Mike, and Ahmed. Thank you all so much for supporting this series. So as you guys can see, these pistons were in pretty bad shape. Luckily, they seem to be cleaning up decently though. This here is a brake pad spreader. I highly recommend getting one if you ever plan on doing brakes, especially on an older motorcycle. It just makes the job that much easier. I'll leave a link in the description below if you guys are interested. Okay, so I got the rear wheel on. This tire wedge that I was talking about earlier made a huge difference. I still had to do it off camera because it was a huge pain in the butt, but just having that tire wedge made all the difference in the world. So Pitbull doesn't sponsor me or anything like that. I paid full price for that, but a very good addition if you have a lot of bikes and you're constantly doing wheels and stuff. It's good to have that. But I finally got everything lined up, so I'm gonna bolt everything back up and hopefully we can be good to go. All right, I finally got the rear wheel on. It spins freely. I'm gonna go ahead and pump this rear brake a little bit. All right, I got a pedal. All right. Rear brake works. All right, so the rear wheel is now officially installed. Well, not officially. I do have to torque everything up, put the cotter pin back in, but we are making progress. I still might replace that chain. I probably will eventually, but for now, I'm gonna roll with it. All right, so before you ever put a front wheel on, it's very important to make note of the tire rotation. Here's our arrow, it's pointing this way, and that's the way the wheel rolls. This is how you go forward. So we know that this is in the correct spot. Slot this back in here. Our hugger is unbolted, remember? So that makes it a little bit easier to navigate in here. Put that on like that. There we go. And that kind of keeps it up here. It's not quite at the level though, so I'm gonna turn this knob, and this knob will lift the wheel. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Before I put this on, I do need to put these spacers back in. I always forget something. All right, I will say this, that this adjuster right here is the only thing I do not like about this wedge. It's really not easy to get your hand in there. I don't know how they could have changed it. Maybe made it come out further or something. Got our axle right here. Put a little fresh coating of grease on it. All right guys, we are finally finished. Look at that, we got the new tires on. And in the rear, we got the new brake pads in, as you can see right there. Look at that, new rubber. This is ready. This is pretty much done. It just has a few little minor things I gotta do, like find a bolt for that. But other than that, look at that. We are here. We are ready to ride it. So in the next video, it's gonna be a first ride. Stay tuned for that.